My name is Wayne Kelly, and I'm a craft beer enthusiast. Back in the early 90s, I managed a craft beer bar and became an avid home brewer. Since then, I've tried as many beers as I could get my hands on. I'm not a famous beer expert, but I do love craft beer, and I love everything involved with the craft beer industry. My wife Nadia has become a craft beer fan too, so she's joined me in my quest to explore the American beer revolution. In this episode, we're visiting Chaos Mountain Brewing in Callaway, Virginia. I've noticed a Sasquatch theme going on here. I've noticed some Squatch tracks leading back into the brewery. No sign of Sasquatch back here, but I do see a lot of really nice brewing equipment. Let's find out more about the size of this brew house.
Bought two brewing systems, a 30-barrel system and a 7-barrel system. I wanted to have a pilot system so that we could do fresh beer all the time.
Right.
So we have 16 beers on tap. We're ready to expand our draft lines. So we use our pilot system to propagate our yeasts. Mm-hmm. So we'll brew unique beers in a similar style to what we're going to use the yeast for. And that gives us an extra 6 or 7 barrels of beer to sell through the tasting room. And it's always fresh, it's always new.
That's fantastic. What sparked it all that ended up being Chaos Mountain?
It all started in '96.
Okay.
And it's my wife's fault because she bought me a beer kit for Christmas.
Yeah, that's how it always starts.
And that's when I started home brewing. And we were living in upstate New York at the time, and we were close to Omegon.
Okay.
Brewing in Cooperstown.
Right.
So I was there when they opened and fell in love with their Three Philosophers
familiar
Belgian
with that,
quad. And started to pursue the Belgian style, and that's always been my favorite style of beer.
Yes.
Too young to retire and really bad at golf, so we did a year's worth of research, my wife and I, Wendy, and we went up and down the East Coast from North Carolina to Massachusetts.
Oh wow!
Actually went to Belgium and Germany, and we decided that it was a good opportunity. You know, Virginia had just changed their laws to allow serving beer in the tasting room. And we saw a perfect opportunity, so we jumped in with both feet. And
you were saying, you always have to come up with new beers. Back in the 90s, just pale ales and IPAs and stuff like that, that was new
brown
stuff.
ales, yeah.
The stuff that people are coming out with these days is, and I use this in the best possible way, it's crazy. I mean, the stuff. I mean, a lot of it's good.
Yes.
Some of it's not. Some of it I'll be like, oh my God, why did they bottle this and distribute this? They made too much of it and they needed to make some money back. But it's just amazing the ideas that the brewers are coming up with. So I know you got a glass of beer here
yes,
with you.
Yes, I do.
This is something new. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, this is actually our Agents of Chaos, which is a Belgian special dark ale at 10%.
Love the name.
And what we did with this is we aged it in red wine barrels on the must from a Cabernet Sauvignon and a Merlot that we mixed together that we got from a local winery called Amrise. Yes. Well, this was one of the first beers that we brewed.
Oh, okay.
And we won a medal for it our first year.
Oh, awesome.
And we started actually aging in wine barrels when we first got started. So it's going on 5 years now.
I think I see some of those barrels right now. Well, let's check out what they're brewing today.
With our 30-barrel brew house, we can do a good amount of volume all at once, rather than have to do, like 2 batches in order to fill our fermenters at one time. We're one done in one day, and so we can do a lot more volume in a short amount of time.
What are you brewing today? You were telling us earlier that you're brewing something.
Yep, Squatch, our Scottish ale. It's pretty much our biggest seller, our flagship beer.
What's your favorite beer here to drink?
Usually my go-to is Scotch. I like the I like bigger malty beers. And
A
everything
lot
like
of
that.
people have said that, and it's interesting because normally, you wouldn't think somebody would say, "Oh, my favorite is this kind of heavy, high alcohol, very malty beer." But that seems to be the case for a lot of the people that we've spoken to earlier here. Is that I like Scotch, I like Scotch, I like Scotch. And once again, I like Scotch. So that obviously anybody who's watching this, if you see it in your local store, try it because everybody here loves it. Including this guy, I'm guessing. So Tom, you are the head brewer here, right?
Yes.
Brewmaster?
Yeah.
Master of the brew.
I don't know about that.
We'll go with it anyway.
Yeah, okay.
So how long have you been in Chaos Mountain?
I've been with Chaos Mountain about a year and a half.
Okay. So what is your favorite beer to brew here?
Jeez.
It could be for any reason. Like some people like the way a particular beer smells. So other people just like the process because either it's complicated or it's easy or something weird's going into it.
My favorite beer to brew would be probably a Theory of Chaos.
Okay. Why is that?
It's
Can't just give us the name and not tell us why.
it's a high alcohol beer. Our target for ABV on it is 18%.
That's huge.
It doesn't really have a category because they're unusual up there.
It's category-less.
We make a joke and we call it an octopel, which is it's a double quad.
Right.
So it's 8, so it's octopel.
Hey, sure,
And,
why not?
but
They
it-
just invented their own category.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that, it's hard work, it's not easy, and 80% of it, if not more, is cleaning, so you're not even actually brewing most of the time. But everybody says the same thing. They really, really enjoy it. And based on what you were telling me before, how you wanted to make sure that you liked it, I'm under the impression that you're the same way.
Yes, and at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, you have something in your hand that you made.
Which is awesome. I think that's a great part of being a brewer.
It's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and a beer in my hand, I grab Logan or one of the guys and say, look what we did this week.
Sure.
This is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is, and that just feels different.
No, and that's great because a lot of people at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, they grab a beer, but they didn't make it. And there's a big difference. And it's not aren't I special? It's a, wow, this is cool. I actually had a hand in making this, and this tastes awesome.
Right.
And apparently, so do all the people who are sitting out there.
And I was just going to say, and the door opens,
Yeah.
and our friends come in.
Sure.
And
And people that you don't know who are making good comments.
they're about to be friends.
Yeah, they're about to become
Or
friends.
mortal enemies.
Hopefully not the latter. And
Not too many.
And it probably doesn't happen very often. There seems to be a lot of characters here. Let's see if we can't meet a few of them. Oh, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking the coffee IPA.
Oh, we've heard about that.
It's good. It's got it's got just enough coffee to be interesting. It's
Right.
It's not really an IPA in the sense that it's over hopped.
Right.
It's definitely more of an American IPA, a little bit smoother on the back, but
Right.
the coffee really kind of gives it something interesting.
So, do you come here often?
Sure.
No, but really, do you come here often?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, great. What's your favorite beer?
Whatever the IPA is.
Whatever the IPA. It's a woman after my own heart, an IPA lady. For a moment, I thought I was in Las Vegas because I thought I had found a famous magician. But instead, I found somebody better. So they're here, having some beers just like I am. So, what are you tasting right now?
I am on a off-the-menu item.
Oh, off the menu. Even I didn't get that.
Agents of Chaos, aged in red wine barrels.
I've heard about this, but I was not given this. So apparently, this man is much more special than I am.
There's a
Could you like-
special secret password. You have to be in the know.
I don't know the secret word. Is it like He-Man Woman Haters Club?
Could be.
Hey, Spanky, can I get in the club?
I can't tell you, or they'd have to kill me. So
I see. Well, no killing allowed. So you don't happen to know any magic tricks or anything like that, do you?
no. And
You
I should.
really need
I
to
do,
get on that.
I do. At least for get some free beer out of it.
There you go. If
you
nothing
go.
else, free beer.
Always a good thing.
I work for free beer. That's what I'm doing right now.
There you go.
Hey, what's this? The bearded beer man. Well, apparently he's here today, so we're going to talk to him. Brew Hub magazine. And this beer magazine, is this for the Roanoke area, or is it?
It actually started as a Virginia magazine,
Okay.
basically in this area, but now it's published in 5 states.
Oh, awesome.
So it's Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia.
Okay, wow. So
Yeah.
it's grown quite a bit.
Yes, it has. I have a blog on Instagram.
Oh, great.
And they followed my blog, and they just invited me to start writing an article about it.
Great. So your blog, I'm assuming that your blog is about craft beer?
Strictly craft beer, yes.
Awesome. Now, do you do mostly local, or do you do whatever you can get your hands on?
Whatever I get my hands on. It started local, of course, because there's 18 breweries within 40 minutes of my house.
Right.
So why wouldn't I start there?
That's good. That's good house placement.
Yes.
He was thinking.
Well, this brewery is 6 minutes away, and I've timed it, so I know.
6 minutes to opening. I can leave now.
Yes, yes. So I discovered that I had this knack to discern the difference in flavors.
Oh, great.
So when I talk about a beer, I don't tell you whether I like the beer or not, because my interest is to spark someone else's interest in the beer. So what I do is I call flavor profiling.
Right. Yep.
I want you to know what the beer tastes like, because whether I like it or not is irrelevant.
Sure, I agree.
Taste is very subjective. So
That is true. Absolutely.
this is what I taste. This is what it tastes like, and people say, "Oh, that sounds delicious," but honestly, I really don't like that beer. But
Everybody's tastes are different.
Right.
As far as a style of beer, just for giggles here, what's your favorite right now? Your favorite style of beer to drink? Like, what would you gravitate towards more than anything else?
right now, it would have to be the IPAs, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a traditional IPA that's straight up bitter, or if it's a New England style that's a little bit sweeter, because it's more citrusy. But right now, my hang up here is the coffee IPA, and this is
We heard about that.
yeah, it's not a regular beer. It's relatively new.
What Joe said.
It was brewed for a wedding.
A wedding. Yep.
And well, it turns out that the coffee flavor and the hop flavor blend so well together, and it smells so much like coffee that coffee gets jealous.
Now, if you could be a beer, what would you be?
Oh, I'd like to be a hearty coffee chocolate stout.
Any particular reason?
I just love that dark chocolate coffee flavor mixture.
I thought I was waiting for something like, well, it's strong and it's sexy and and it smells good most of the time.
Well, I'm all about good taste.
All right. I'm not going there. Not going there. Okay, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Turn water into beer.
Everybody has really great ones that I would never even think about. That's one of the better ones that I've heard of. I got to remember that one. Okay, cool. And now my favorite part, the beer tasting. Oh. Merry Christmas. So the first one that we're going to taste is the Shine Runner Pils. We're going to give it a taste and see what it tastes like. That's a really good example of a Pils. I'm no expert, but I know my Pils. I've had lots of these in my life. So now we have their Cheeky Monkey. Cheeky Monkey. Cheeky Monkey. I don't know why, but I like saying that. Cheeky Monkey. Which is their Belgian blonde. Obviously, it looks very blonde. Ooh, that's got a nice smell to it. I know people like to call it a nose, but it's the smell. Come on. So it smells Belgian-y. Again, I'm using these technical terms here that I always use. I want my audience to know just exactly what I'm talking about. It's got that nice kind of banana-esque, bready Belgian yeast profile to it. It's a good Belgian ale. Now it's time for the Mad Hopper, their American IPA, which, of course, as you know, is one of my favorites. So let's take a look at that guy. It's a little cloudy, which I like. Me likey. Can't really see through it too much, which is nice because I like my IPAs a bit cloudy. Anyway, I don't know what that was, but let's give this a taste. This is just a really good IPA, closer to a West Coast style. You know what the American IPAs all were when they first started coming out. It's bitter, but it's not too bitter. It's not over bitter. Real nice kind of piney, a little bit grassy, but in a good way. Flavor to it. I like the bitterness to it. It's bitter, but it's not like super bitter. And the bitterness lasts a long time in your mouth. I know there might be some people that are like, I don't like it when the bitterness is in my mouth too long. Hey, come on, get out of here. But I like it. So this is really, really tasty. All right, this is the one I've been looking forward to. This is the Squatch Ale. Yeah, say Squatch 10 times fast. Squatch, 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 Squatch. Squatch. I think that was 10. Because this is a Scottish ale. So, Sasquatch-tish. No, that doesn't work. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Very Sasquatchy. No, that's good. I haven't had too many Scottish ales in my life. I don't know why. Probably because not too many people brew them as much as other beers. But that's really good. Very malty, but it's got a nice hop bitterness to it as well. It's almost as if you took an IPA, you lowered the bitterness, made it a little bit more malty. I don't know. I'm grabbing at straws here. But anyway, it's a really good, tasty beer. I see my future. Okay, so it's time for the next one. This is Agents of Chaos. If nothing else, that's just a really cool name. This is their Belgian Strong Ale at 10%. Wow. Yeah, this isn't something that you could drink a lot of, but I'm sure it's quite tasty, so even just one would satisfy. So let's take a look at that. It's so pretty. So if I knew what a Belgian accent was, I would do it right now. But anyway, I guess the Belgians would say it was a bit hazelnutty because the Europeans love hazelnuts, but to me it's more like caramel. So wow, the flavors just keep coming. The longer I kind of wait for flavors to finish, the more that they just keep coming. Wow, okay, so I always say that, I'm not a big Belgian ale fan, but this is really cool. Because when you first take a sip, you get certain flavors, then a few seconds later, more flavors come around, and then just when you thought it couldn't get any better, 10 seconds later, there's even more flavors. You can taste the higher alcohol, but not in a bad way, it's just you taste it. And then there's the Belgian-esque flavor, something that's just a yeast profile that's a little bit different. Something that's a little bit fruity. Not real super fruity, but a little bit fruity. And the malt profile is kind of caramelly. That is one tasty beer. So folks at home, I'm going to read directly from this list because my memory's not that good. And I can't remember this all this really cool description here. So this is called the Chaos Federal Reserve. 7.5 ABV. Our signature Squatch Ale, which we've already tried, aged in a Smith Bowman bourbon barrel. Why is that so hard to say? Smooth and delicious with just the right amount of bourbon flavor. So, there you go. I couldn't have said it any better. Seriously. It's interesting. This was aged in a bourbon barrel, and it even looks a little bit like the color of bourbon. Coincidence? I think not. Let's give it a sip. Wow. Okay. Now the bourbon comes through. I'm not a bourbon or a whiskey fan, but The flavor of bourbon or whiskey in general, when done right, can be really tasty. And this, when done right, is more than A-OK. Mucho grande. LA woman! LA woman! Aye, mateys, this is the Mad Pirates. This is the Belgian quad aged in rum barrels, not bourbon. Doesn't that look beautiful? Let's give it a try. Ooh, that's actually really, really nice. I've not tasted anything like this before. That's interesting. You've got the qualities of the Belgian quad and the qualities of rum. And I didn't know those two could go together so well. But those are good. That's a really nice flavor combination. This is the Legless Horseman Pumpkin Ale. So, can't say it looks pumpkin-y, but that's probably a good thing. But it does have a bit of an orange hue to it. It looks really nice. Oh, that's a really interesting smell. It's got a little bit of pumpkin spice to it, but not much, which is good. Literally, not making this up. Of all the pumpkin ales that I've ever had in my life, this is the best pumpkin ale. It has a light pumpkin spice to it, not too much, just enough so that you realize, okay, this is a pumpkin ale. And it's got this very slight underlying vanilla-y flavor, so quite tasty. Like it a lot. So now we're on to their coffee IPA. That's right, I said coffee and IPA in the same moment. Now, from what I've heard from everybody around here, including the owner, who's not a big IPA fan, that this is pretty amazing. I've had other coffee beers before, but I don't think I've ever had a coffee IPA before. So, we're looking at that, and we're seeing, something that looks like a pretty good IPA, so let's give it a shot. I already smell the coffee, which is great because coffee is my second favorite beverage. That's mighty interesting. I gotta wrap my head and taste buds around that one. I'm not sure what's going on. Part of my brain is going, coffee. The other part is going, IPA. So, I'm not sure. But it does taste good. It's just, I've never had those two flavor profiles together in one glass. It's good. Doppelnatur Doppelbock. I had to say it that way because if I didn't enunciate, I probably would have screwed it up. So, this is a Doppelbock, which you don't get, that's nice. You don't get too many breweries making Doppelbocks. Look, very Doppelbock-y. Anyway, so it looks very caramel. Very, very clear. It smells a little sweet, which is appropriate in this particular case. But it's a very nice malty beer, mild bitterness. There's a lot of flavors going on. It's a little sweet, but not sweet. Caramelly, nutty. It's a very flavorful beer. And normally you can't get this year-round. So if you're here and they have it on tap, at least try it because it may be a long time before you come across a Doppelbock again. So, cheers. Continuing with the coffee motif is the Shoot the Rooster Stout. So this is a stout infused with coffee. It actually looks a lot like coffee. It's just like the earlier beer. It's got that coffee smell. I mean, how else can you say that? It smells like coffee. Wow, that's good. I've had coffee stouts before, and they all have similar qualities to them. But what's nice about this one is you don't lose the beer, you don't lose the stout flavor. That's a damn good coffee stout. Apparently they shot the rooster over it. Cock-a-doodle-doo. This is Edge of the Sun Lager. This is a Mexican lager that has zest lime to it. Not a lot of breweries outside of Mexico brew a Mexican lager. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Mostly because, this is kind of a mass-produced style of beer, but it's when you get a good one, it's quite tasty, so. I smell a little lime, so I'm just going to taste this guy. Damn, yeah, that's a Mexican lager. But it's got a little bit of lime to it, but not much, which is great because those mass-produced lagers out there, whether they be Mexican or American, or Mexican-American, they put too much lime in it. It's limey. So this just has a hint. It's really, really refreshing. I think that, on a really, really hot summer day, this would be, super, super good. Muy bonito. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Why are you still doing that? So, this is the amazing vanilla cream, and it has a orange puree added to it. All right, so this takes me once again back to my childhood when we had that wonderful, wonderful concoction and confection called the Dreamsicle, which was basically vanilla and orange in a popsicle. And can you smell this? No, I think you cannot. I'm very sorry. But this smells amazing. You've got the orange, you've got the vanilla. It looks just scrum-delicious. Wow, okay, so this is not carbonated. This is nitronated. So instead of CO2, they use NO2, I think. So this is nitrogen based, so it's kind of like what the big G in Ireland uses for their stout. Not going to name them. And it gives a creamier feel to the beer. Very dreamsicle-y, very orange-sickly, not bicycle-y. Niet velocipede. This is damn good. Mariska Hargitay. So, come here often? I see the Chaos Brewing hat, so I'm assuming you do. You don't talk much, do you? I like girls who don't talk much. You are a girl, right? What happened to you? What's that? Still can't hear you. I'm assuming that you were rude to the bartender, and that's what happens when you're rude to the bartender. You die of thirst. So this is the Coco Borealis Triple Stout. It's their winter seasonal. It's quite tasty. I've been drinking this as I've been goofing around with my friend here. But they're not bad. They don't say much. But this is actually quite tasty. It's a very nice stout that is poured with nitrous. So it's similar to that ever-popular stout that most people know about that starts with a big G, but we won't mention that here, which gives it that creaminess. But when I taste this, you get the creaminess that you're expecting from the nitrous, but there's this nice roasted malt flavor. It's a little chocolatey. It's a little bitter, but the bitterness is from the roasted malts. And just this nice, creamy mouthfeel, and, you just want to cozy up next to somebody and drink a few. Be careful who you drink your stout with. Nonetheless, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to all! Zoinks!